Hey, everybody. I am recording today about how I align my energy every day. And I want to also just kind of blow through a couple of myths that there are in the spiritual community. This idea about you have to be aligned in order to get what you want in life, as in, if you want $1 million, you have to take on the energy of a millionaire, and why that can actually hurt us in the long run. One thing is that if you think you have to take on the energy of a millionaire and you've never had more than $1,000 in your bank account at once, first of all, there's a lot of discrepancy between that. There's a lot of shame that will come in. And secondly, every time you have a thought that is part of your programming, like there's never enough or how will I pay rent, you're going to catch those thoughts and you're going to shame them. You're going to feel anxiety. You're going to tell yourself, because I'm not feeling the way that I'm supposed to, or because I'm having thoughts that aren't the millionaire thoughts, I'm now pushing it farther away. And those thoughts are actually the things that are pushing it away. So not only will you have scarcity thoughts, but you're also then shaming them and having anxiety around it. So I want to just like take any pressure off around that idea that you have to be aligned, you have to be thinking the right thoughts, you have to be feeling the right feelings, and just take a breath. Okay. A huge thing is that our subconscious stories are subconscious. Our identities are part of our subconscious stories. Our identities cannot be outrun through conscious talk. You cannot talk yourself into being a millionaire. You cannot explain all the reasons why you deserve wealth. You have to feel it, you have to embody it, and that actually can only happen in a subconscious way. So what I do every day is I listen to subliminal music with affirmations beneath the music, because it's super important that I'm not trying to use my conscious wants to try to dissuade my conscious thoughts why they shouldn't be there. Because think about what your conscious thoughts are. You're only having a percentage of your conscious thoughts a day. And they're really, your conscious thoughts, they're subconscious farts. That's really what they are. They're just energy coming from your body going up to your mind. So think about like the sperm that gets into the egg, the one that actually gets to be the thing that conceives a child. That is the fastest, most potent sperm. So that it's the same thing with thoughts. The thought that actually can reach up to your conscious mind, that is the fastest and most potent thought that you have from your energy system, which means that if you're having one thought of there's not enough, that's the thing that's reaching there. Think about what's actually going on subconsciously. There's a muck. There's like layers and layers and layers of dense energy that needs to be sifted through. So try arguing with that and saying, no, there's actually totally more than enough. You're not going to feel calm from that. You're not. And that's why the mantras and the affirmations, they're great, but they don't actually help you. You have to work with the subconscious. So what I do during the month is every time I catch a thought, a potent thought that's dense in energy. And when I say dense, it doesn't feel good. So thoughts like, I'm not good enough. Thoughts like other people succeed and I don't. Thoughts like, where's the next place I'm going to live? I'm never going to find a place that I'm going to settle down. All those thoughts there, it's kind of like catching fish with a net, just widening the net, being like, okay, catch that, catch that, catch that. I'm not going to catch all of them, but as many as I can, I try writing them down. I don't do anything with them. I just write them down, that I'm aware that they're happening, that they're there. Okay. And I'm aware that they're an iceberg. They're only showing me a little bit of what's happening subconsciously. And then during my PMS, which is during the couple days before I bleed, it's also called the autumn section of your cycle, which is basically the idea is when your inner critic is the highest, when your potent thoughts are the most dense, when everything doesn't seem like it's going wrong, everything doesn't seem like it's going right. That's actually magic in the time. Usually, especially I feel like in more mainstream cycles, like people say, oh, I'm PMSing, don't listen to anything I have to say, or I'm PMSing, time to watch Netflix and eat ice cream. All of that, or I'm PMSing, so I didn't really mean that breakup or that yelling or that. Everything that you do during PMSing is what you wish you could have done during the rest of your cycle, but it's not strong enough then. The force isn't strong enough to move through to get you to do it. Okay? So anyways, a big Ben Feldman is very important in what's going to come through. So it's really super important that when you're PMSing, you're taking this as actually a huge opportunity to catch the most amount of fish, to catch the most amount of potent energy, and to write it all down. And then just so you know, if you are male-bodied, you also have a cycle. The cycle is happening in a 24 hours and not during the month. So you can also do the same thing. You have to check in. It could be like in the afternoon or late afternoon is actually when your negative thoughts are most, when your dense thoughts are most potent. And I meditate and I feel into what is the divine perspective of each of these. And I take 2 or 3 days just to, because by the end of the month, I have like hundreds, but I just take 2 or 3 days to just feel into what is the divine energy here? What is the opposite story here? And I don't use conscious thought. I use subconscious thought. And the way that I do that is I meditate and I tap into the higher self and I ask the higher self for the new perspective. And then I record myself. It's a whole process. I record myself really going through all of it, just saying everything again and again and again. And then I put it behind music and I put the mantras and the affirmations at 7%. Because again, you can't outrun your identity that you have consciously. You have to use it subconsciously. So I am only listening to music. That's what it sounds like to me during the month. I'm just listening to music. And usually the first couple of times I listen to the subliminal, a lot of anger or frustration comes up because what it's doing is it's actually hitting what we say in Yiddish, but the kishkas, like the deep, dark stuff. It's going through there. And I'm not having any conscious thought about it. It's just listening to music and suddenly my eyes tear up or I feel really frustrated or nothing feels good, but it's just moving it out. It's coming up because it's coming out. And then usually after the second or third time, something starts feeling shifting and there's more expansion in my body. I'll start catching, just like the month earlier, there was the potent thoughts. This month, I'll start catching the potent thoughts that are on the same topic, but are actually very affirming instead of disempowering. So let's say if last month it was a thought like, I'm never going to reach my goals. The next month, all of a sudden, the thought will come up. It's like a sneeze. The thought will just come up of, my goals are really achievable. It's actually not so hard to reach your goals. So that's what I listen to every single day. I have about 14 tracks of subliminals on different topics, on wealth and abundance, on calling in your soulmate, on finding yourself and self-love, on taking your power back and reclaiming who you are. All of those are just channeled in from my clients' journeys, from my own journeys, because it's really so universal, all of these things. So if you'd like your free subliminal, I will put the link on the comments here below so you can go and check it out. And if you want your own personal one, I also do individuals. See what it does. I've seen magic happen. I've gone from months where I made $0 and then listened to Wealth and Abundance every day and made more than 10,000 the next month. So our subconscious stories are really the things that are maneuvering us through our lives. And we don't have to play victim to them. We can actually use them for our greatest empowerment. Hope that brought some clarity and some love to your day. And I'm sending you all a lot of joy and good stuff. Bye, loves.